When you get beautiful harvests like this columnar basil is just an absolute oozing of foliage. You want to keep it. You want to make sure that there's a way to be able to keep this. So during the following months, when he might be going over and not be at its prime, well, that I've still got some herbs. The best way, it's beautiful, licorice. The best way to do this is, of course, to dry the herbs. So pick away merrily, because you can use it in cooking, whether you're going to be doing some bath salts, whether it's just for adding a bit of fragrance into some meals that just need it. Well, this is the way to do it. So when you've got a glut, pick it, grab it, and dry it. Because then, in the coming months, you will be the one with all of the most delicious herbs. We're going to show you how to make a drying rack to do just the job. Really nice and simple, and has a perfect use to put all this great nutrition to good use. Is that nice, Ames? Right, guys, let's get to it. Nice and easy. We've got a piece of trellis. In fact, I used the other part of it for another little DIY. So I've got this piece left, which is why you never, ever, ever throw anything away, because you know it's going to come in handy at some point. So piece of trellis here, we're going to cut this up into two sections that are the same size. I've got a dowel, which is just slightly longer than that, okay? And that's important. You'll see why a wee bit later. We've got a bit of string, scissors, a marker, and the cloth. Now, the cloth is important. This is almost a viscosy, very, very lightweight. You can see, I can actually see through there. So it's not heavy at all, which is why a heavy cotton or any cotton is not going to do it unless it's an open weave. And that's important, or else your herbs are just going to end up just frotting and going miff. You need a lot of air movement through this, because obviously it's a drying rack. We've got our trusted staple gun and our jigsaw. Right, you don't need a jigsaw, of course, but it's always nice to have one. You could do this DIY simply with using just a little handsaw. So what I'm going to do is, here are my sections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're not going to use this because I want it to, so this section we're not worried about there. Let's just mark that there and over there. Right, and nice and easy. All we're going to do now, and I'm not using that and I'm not using that, is we're just going to cut these bits, okay? Two pieces in place and we're good to go. Offcut can go one side. So here are two pieces. You can see that is going to be suspended over there. But the first thing that we need to do now is get our cloth on. So we're going to take it, a single layer. Can you see I'm not very good at working with material? And let's just pop it on there and get a basic measurement. Remember, this doesn't need to be fancy. So there we go, and I'm just going to use this as my guideline and give this a cut. Right. Okay. Pop this guy on here, and we just cut a second piece. Rightio. I have to tell you that that moment took me back to standard 7. Do you remember that? When we had standards and I was having to cut out a pattern for a pair of tracksuit pants. That was almost like a nightmare. But the good news is this has got something to do with gardening and not tracksuit pants. Right? Can you believe it? All right, guys, what we do now is we take this, we pop it onto here, and this is going to be where we end up putting our herbs, and we're going to use the staple gun, and all we're going to do is attach it and tack it across here. Remember, it's just to suspend it. It's not to be that it's going to be putting heavy things on it, so you don't need to be all that specific. So here we go. Okay, there we have it. You see, working nicely. Obviously, I am leaving a little bit of space that I can get in here because I've still got to tie the string to hang this baby up. Okay, so that's one down. Let's do the other guy. Right, there we have it. Bit of excess here, so I'm going to trim it off. Oh, did you see that seamstress work there? Fantastic. Right. Next up is, there it is. You've got the idea. That's how it's going to be hanging. Now we're going to start attaching this guy to this guy with a gap in between. Probably work on a minimum of 20 centimeters that you then are going to have so that you've got enough air movement going in between here. So let's start off with our first piece, just so we can get our measurement, and then from there we can just cut away merrily. So let's attach here, through there. Okay, remember I showed you that little gap earlier, and a little knot. Right, we can come back and trim off all the excess a bit later. So let's just use this one as our first guideline. Up here. Have a look, there we go. That's working probably on about 30. I'm happy with that. Swing it round and then tie it up. Okay. Nice and tight. Then we can trim off this excess here, and we can trim that excess off there. And then we repeat that on the remaining 3 corners. Right, there we go. You see how it's working now? We've got the top layer there, enough space, bottom layer here. Don't worry if it's, once you get it hanging, it'll soon sort itself out. So, you know, as you move it, could be a little aeroplane that's on its way to great things to come. Right, next up, we are going to then have our dowel. So the dowel is now going to end up here. But to give this dowel a bit of support, I'm going to go once again from 1, 2, 3, 4, all right, and attach it to here. Okay, 4 bits are there. All I want you to do, take it along like that so that we've got an equidistant point. Follow it down with your hands, and then a double knot. And we want to do that on the other side. Just like that. Okay, you can see where that's going to happen there. Same on this side. Let's take a look. Yeah, we are about there. Yeah, that should do it. 1, 2. Fantastic. And then this is how it goes. Dowel through there, dowel through there. There we go. Oh, brilliant, guys. This is winner, winner, chicken dinner. Fantastic. Perfect. Absolutely lovely. I reckon this could make a great gift for Christmas presents. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Give that to him in a living herb, or some herbs that they can dry. This is superb. Rightio. Be bold and experiment with drying herbs from your garden. Some that work really well are oregano, thyme, rosemary and bay leaf. Soft-leafed herbs take a couple of days to dry, whilst woody-stemmed herbs can take 2 to 3 weeks.